Hi friends! I just wanted to give you all an update because some of you have been checking in about Tropical Storm Debby, what turned into Hurricane Debby, and now it's a tropical storm again that came through over the weekend for us. And I just wanted to let you know we're all safe and show you what did happen. So I'm going to turn the camera around. This is our backyard. This is our house. Water did not get up to our house. It got up to like right here where this green box is. But all of this, like water sometimes pools back here when it rains. But there is a ditch behind this fence. There's a fence and then there's a school building. And there's always water in that ditch, which is why we have such a mosquito problem in our backyard, because it's like a little drainage ditch that we had no idea was there when we bought this house. But never once in the 8 years that we have lived here has it overflowed. And it overflowed because we got like 10 inches of rain in 24 hours. And so you see this dirt line on the fence? That is how high the water was in our backyard. And it probably only looks like 5 or 6 inches tall right now, but I bet you there was 8 inches of water. This is Nova's sandbox. The water was to the top of her sandbox. Now this is the lowest point in our backyard, so all the water kind of went that way. But the entire backyard, like this entire path, was underwater. And we have this building that came with our house when we bought it. It's just a little concrete building, and it's not, it has electricity, but it's not, doesn't have plumbing or anything. Thankfully, it's just concrete and like almost no wood or anything like that. And the water went in there, and there was probably 3 to 4 inches of water. So we're drying everything out. Picked up all the mats we had on the floor, trying to dry everything out. It's just crazy to think, like, I bet that's 8 inches of water that we had. So anyways, we're fine. I don't want to go in there because basically we just store like workout equipment and Christmas decorations and stuff like that in there. I don't want to go in there because the fans are going and it's super loud. And we've got damper it and dehumidifiers going, etc., etc., etc. But yeah, I've never seen the water like that. No water got in our house, thankfully, because I know several people who water did get in their house and their houses are like totaled. Even the person at the end of our street, his house, basically we're probably 6 or 7 houses from the end of the street going this way. And the person at the very end of the street, the water was all the way up through their front door. You couldn't even see the road. Like it was knee deep. Josiah went down there to help give him some sandbags when it was raining and raining and raining. And the water was to his knees, which is insane. It was ankle deep out in front of our house. But water didn't come in the front and didn't come in the back. So thankfully, it's a very annoying cleanup job out there. But at least that building's just mostly concrete and like workout stuff, so we can dry it out and not be too worried. Sorry about that. I thought the baby was gonna wake up. He's still sleeping. He's been sleeping for almost 2 hours. I don't think he's feeling very well. His nose is a little runny and he was pretty fussy last night. So I'm just gonna let him sleep until I have to go get Nova. But I just wanted to update y'all because I know some of y'all were worried. We're fine. It's a tropical storm. The crazy thing is we've had like multiple hurricanes come through here, and never has there been that much water. But then of course so like, if you don't know about tropical storms and hurricanes, a tropical storm is basically, and a hurricane, they're basically gigantic thunderstorms that swirl around and go in a circle. And to get to a hurricane, they have to have wind levels of a certain speed. So to get to a category 1 hurricane, you have to have 74-mile-an-hour winds. And then of course it goes up from there. So Debby, this tropical storm Debby, did not have hurricane force winds when it came through here. I mean, it was barely windy at all. But the rain that it dumped, and this storm was huge. So at one point it was like 800 miles wide, which is insane. And because it was going so slowly, it just kept like just rain and rain and rain. So in our county, we got about 10 inches of rain in 24 hours, that's just amazing that it rained that much. Down south a little bit, like maybe an hour south of here, got between 11 and 14 inches of rain, which is wild. And it just moved so slowly that it just kept dumping water and dumping water and dumping water. We never lost power, which was wonderful. There was no water in our house. There was water, of course, in that little building in the backyard, but we can clean that up. A lot of people have had really significant flooding because of all of that rain. And so what you need to know about hurricanes and tropical storms is you hide from the wind, you run from the water. So like, I don't think anybody expected or had any inkling that it was going to be that amount of massive rainfall. And so there's been like the Coast Guard and the police department and the fire department like rescuing people yesterday on Monday because they were trapped in their houses because the water rose so high. We are in flood zone D, which is like the lowest flood zone you can be in the county that I live in. Thankfully, down at the end of the street is not. And of course, that poor guy, there was just water going in his front door. Like all the water in the whole neighborhood was like basically a lake in front of his house. So yes, but there hasn't been a lot of like trees down, limbs down. There wasn't a lot of power outages. It was just the water, the rising water. And we had a bunch of flash flood warnings that kept coming through. And there were a bunch of tornado warnings, but not where we were. They were like down south a little bit. A flash flood, if you don't know, is basically like when so much water comes from the sky, it doesn't have anywhere to go and the water level rises really quickly. It can be super dangerous. I would say the loss of life that a flash flood can cause is much more dangerous up north than it is in Florida, or at least where I am in Florida, because we're basically flat here. So the water is gonna rise quickly, but like it's not going down a hill and like sweeping somebody away. So like a flash flood in Virginia is on a hill is much more dangerous than a flash flood on a flat surface. And I know we're not totally flat, but like we basically had one when the ditch overflowed. There's just like, 8 inches of water came into our yard like instantly. Like there was water in the grass. You could still see the top of the grass. And then all of a sudden the backyard was a lake. So that's how quickly it rose, which is just phenomenal. But we are safe. Everybody's safe. Everybody's dry. We're all okay here. My parents are okay. They live a little bit north of us. They didn't have any trees down or power outages either, which is good. And as far as I know, everyone that I've checked on, my friends, my neighbors, my family, nobody had any significant damage except the guy on the end of the street had, of course, his house flooded. And then one of my church people had a tree fall, but on their fence. It wasn't on their house or anything. So that's helpful. And I realized I did leave you all hanging on Saturday about whether the baby's milk came in and whether he gained weight. I did put it on the screen at the very end, but I know some of you listen and don't always watch the screen. So his milk came in. FedEx did deliver the milk for the baby, and they did not deliver it on time, but they did deliver it that day when I had like, right before he went to bed, it showed up. So I was like, thank God, because I only have 1 bottle left to feed you. So they delivered it and he's been drinking that and he's been doing really, really well. He's been pooping regularly, so that was really good. And then he did gain weight. He gained 12 ounces in a week. Now there were a couple days that I think he hit a growth spurt, because 12 ounces in a week is a bit insane, but he had lost all this weight. And then there were a couple days where he just ate everything in sight and was constantly screaming for more food. So probably half of that was his growth spurt, because he has slowed down in eating since then. But he's gained weight, so I'm happy. He's happy. I have officially stopped pumping. I haven't smashed my pump yet, just in case anything is still sore. I had to pump one time for a few minutes yesterday just because it got really sore. But that's over now. I'm still super sad about it. But maybe once this is all done, we'll be all right. And I'm just trying to get a little work done before I have to go pick up Nova in about 20 minutes. And I was just in a Zoom meeting, and I love a good Zoom meeting for crochet. I'm making more crochet cotton flowers because I have decided I love these as dishcloths. So the link for this pattern is in my last video in the description box if you want it. I just freaking love it so much. This is the 4th one I've made this week. So I'm gonna hop off here and let y'all go, try to send a few emails and do some work before the baby wakes up or I have to go get Nova. But I just wanted you to know everybody's safe. And if you are in the path of that storm, if you were in the path of that storm, let me know how you're doing, comment below. If you're in the path of any storm anywhere, let me know you're safe, please. And I will see you guys in a little while. Bye, friends.